Hey, converted man here. Hey, don't bother to watch this video if you like Alex O'Connor. It will just irritate you. I'm just here to farm outrage. Debunking bad arguments and pointing out illogic. It's just all just to try to get me attention. It's not about saying what the truth is or, uh, you know, picking out the bad ideas and exposing them as they are. No. It's all just about clout, right? Yeah. It could be about clout, but it also or getting attention, but I mean, it could also be about pointing out the bad ideas. In fact, that's all I've ever cared about is pointing out bad logic. That's pretty much my whole channel in a nutshell is exposing bad arguments wherever they may appear. And I don't care who makes the bad arguments or how famous they might be or how well liked they are. In fact, the fact that they might be famous and or well liked is even more of a reason to point out bad arguments that they have. Jordan Peterson, for example, I've had my interest in him on and off again, and I found some of what he had to say interesting. The way back stuff, the Pinocchio stuff, the stuff that he did about explaining fairy tales. I thought that was interesting. Even some of his lectures on God, the Judeo-Christian Bible, and trying to figure out that stuff, I thought was interesting. But then he got a little bit woo-woo. Well, maybe he got more woo-woo than he already was, and I noticed I'd been kind of defending him because I liked some of what he did. And I've made a few videos about him, both positive and negative, because you can like some things and dislike others. But ultimately, if he makes an argument that's bad, I'm going to point it out whether I like him or not, because the argument is still bad. And so too with Alex O'Connor. Oh, he's well liked. Okay, yeah, but I don't care. He's famous. I don't care. He made a bad argument. In fact, he didn't even really make an argument. He supposedly was explaining the argument, but he was using such ludicrous language that the explanation kind of falls apart and sounds like word salad. He didn't present the actual argument, and then he didn't bother really explaining it. Not really. He gave metaphors, and he kept repeating himself and really offered us nothing. And then he didn't even debunk the argument to say what was wrong with it or bad with it. If you want to explain an argument, fine, great. You want to say, here's the argument, here's what it means, and now let me explain how it's wrong. In fact, I might be doing something like that myself with every argument for God that I can find. Because, well, why not? It's about time I do something like that. But at any rate, he said nonsense. I pointed out that he said nonsense. I got complaints in chat. Hey, you're interrupting. You're not giving him his due. You're gonna miss his points, and you're not gonna steel man him. When. And then I got some comments as well. Here's the comments. Here's one of them. This is what labeled this video as it is. I'm definitely not gonna watch an hour and 15 minutes of this. Well, you could listen to it, but oh well. It's been made in bad faith. Clearly, it's been made in bad faith. It's just probably trying to farm outrage after seeing how well Alex tends to be among atheists. I realize my comment is inadvertently boosting his metrics more, but just leaving it for anyone else that wonders. And if you watched a little bit and got annoyed, no, I don't think it's going to get any better. May as well head out. Yes, because if you're annoyed, that's it. That's all you need to know. I didn't like how he presented it. I got annoyed at him. And that's enough. I don't like his voice. I don't like this. I don't like that. The content, who cares? Because you don't like it. All right. Yeah. Emotional reasons, subjective reasons to move on. Let's not engage with the argument or the logic or the lack of logic. No. Just, I don't like that guy. He yelled his name too loud, or whatever nonsense you want to have. Yeah. I think that you might be mistaken as to the nature of Alex's beliefs. Yes, he posits these claims to believers' strongest arguments. Well, okay, to be fair, that's Big Think doing that. I don't know that Alex is responsible for their labeling. They are whoever that is that uploaded that video. I don't know how much say he had in that decision, if any at all, or if he's aware of it, or if he cares. It's clearly a clickbait title. I mean, just saying Alex presents how to understand this argument wouldn't really be very good of a clickbait title, right? Mr. Magnificent, hello, la-di-da-di-da. Okay, anyways, sorry. Anyways, all right. He agrees with you, but he's saying that hardcore New Age atheists, whatever that is, give these arguments too little credence. Now, okay, these arguments referring to Thomas Aquinas, these old arguments that have been around forever, that have been, just recycled over and over endlessly. I'm pretty sure the atheists have attacked those arguments. So I don't know how we're not giving it credence. But you mean what? Treating them seriously? I mean, they're garbage. They're broken. They have fallacies. I'm not going to respect an argument that's flawed. I'm only going to respect. In fact, respect isn't even a thing that you should do with an argument, because it's either sound or it's not sound. And if it's not sound, you're done. This whole emotional element doesn't belong in analysis. So we ought not approach any presentation of these theological arguments in awe and reverence and well, I'm gonna steel man them. I'm gonna, whatever. Yeah, you can steel man them. You can do however you want to present the argument, but you have to debunk it. You have to say why it's wrong and how it's wrong, logically speaking, scientifically speaking. And every argument that I'm aware of regarding God is both logically flawed and or possibly scientifically flawed, or both. And that's worth pointing out, no matter who's making the argument or why they're making the argument. Even more so, I think that it's necessary for us to tell other atheists, especially ones that are well known, hey, you're giving that argument too much credence. You're making it seem like that argument is a good argument when it's crap. And that's what Alex did. He used fluffy language to try to explain what the argument meant, barely referencing what the hell he was talking about at the end, and not even presenting that actual argument either, and then not bothering to debunk any of it, and just immediate transition to the argument of evil, which he actually got right. He actually presented that one well. That was well spoken. That was well done. So it just baffles me how he got the other stuff completely wrong. But he still got it wrong. And what he did is still incorrect and wrong. Because he's presenting an argument as if it's a good argument, and that's not even a thing. Either the argument is a sound argument or it's not. It's not the best argument. It's not the most convincing argument or compelling argument. It's just sound or not. Now, if you want to talk about an argument being convincing to people in an emotional sense, okay, let's do a survey then. do a wide scale survey. Big Think's got some money. It could do it. It could fund a big scale survey, 10,000 people, 1,000 people, shouldn't be that hard. And find out what argument is convincing. Have them rank 1 to 5 on different arguments. And then you'd have a decent sample size of what people find convincing. And then you can present that study. Okay. Now, that doesn't tell us anything other than what people prefer, but that would be fine if that's what you want to do. But if you just say, this is what I find the most convincing, then you're just a data point on a hypothetical survey that nobody's done yet. So you can't call the video or your presentation the most convincing argument because you don't know that that's the truth. You know that it convinces you. You don't know if it convinces anybody else or how many people it convinces or if it's the most compelling or whatever you want to label it. You don't know that because you haven't done the survey. You haven't, maybe somebody did the survey, but you didn't reference it. So you don't know that. So that's Big Think's and or Alex's fault for that label of the video. Well, why does that matter? It's fine. It's clickbait. It's just YouTube. Because on the one hand, you want us to take it seriously. But on the other hand, it's fine that it's labeled that way, So it's like, which is it? You want to? I take the argument seriously, very seriously. That's why I did what I did. And you're not going to watch it and listen to it? Oh. Anyways, no, I don't get wrong what he's doing or his beliefs. I got right what he was doing. He was doing a bad presentation where he tried to explain an argument and didn't succeed in doing that, and also didn't actually give the argument and didn't tell us why it was bad and broken like you should have. You already compared him to Peterson, and then you stop him after 2 seconds, minutes, where you say, you might ask why the glass of water is there, and you immediately went, yeah, why has many meanings? Yes. See, I am indeed comparing him to Peterson, and also pointing out that the question of why is ambiguous. Both are true. Oh, I'm being like Peterson and saying, well, what do you mean by that? No, I'm pointing out that words are flexible. But, whatever. He's philosophizing. Right. He's a bullshit artist. No, I know that. I know what he was doing. That's why I was complaining about it. He's clearly an anti-theist. Well, no, because nothing he's doing in that video seems very anti-theist to me. He's giving full credits to this argument and trying to explain it even though he's doing a crap job. That doesn't seem like anti-theist to me. And then this person says that they don't think that I understood the word analogy. But I do, so whatever. So none of these are the content, really, of my presentation per se, that, my debunking of Alex's nonsense. None of this has anything to say about that. It's all just, I don't like your presentation. I don't, you're annoying. I don't like that you stop every 2 seconds, you're not giving him credit, or you're not taking this seriously, or whatever other stuff. I was like, no, I'm taking it very seriously, and I'm doing to him what I've done to everybody else and will continue to do on my channel as long as I feel like doing it, which is pointing out bad logic wherever I find it. And that it might be a few minutes or an hour or 10 hours. I'm going to take however long it takes to point out bad logic. And if you don't like that, then go somewhere else. If you don't want that, go somewhere else. And if you want to remain ignorant, then by all means, don't learn informal logic. But if you want to understand these arguments and why they are broken, then learn informal logic. And I was told lately, it's annoying that I keep saying that. Well, too bad. I'm going to keep saying it because I know that it is valuable as a tool to have at your disposal. Don't remain ignorant. Learn informal logic and other things as well. But that one is my thing that I like. So, yeah. Anyway, so that's that. All right. Ray Comfort is a mentally effortless, untrustee who has been operating for a decade. Yeah. I mean, Ray Comfort is indeed just doing his thing that he does. I don't know if he's mentally effortless, but untrustworthy kind of subject. He certainly is doing a stick, and he's been doing the same stick for a long time. But yeah, that's a kind of a different topic there. So anyways, that's all I wanted to say about this. To farm outrage, debunking isn't about me. It's about pointing out bad arguments where they are. And if you don't want to do that, whatever. Or if you want to do it your own way, you don't like how I do it, hey, by all means, make your own video. Write your own blog post. Get your ideas out there. If you don't like it, do it yourself. Of course, it's the internet. We're going to nitpick. I mean, it's going to happen. But I'm just saying, I don't care. And I'm going to keep doing what I do. So anyways, thanks for listening. And until next time, learn informal logic. And then after next time, restudy informal logic so that you remember it. And also be a skeptic.